Hi, my name is Richard Harvey. I'm going to give you a virtual tour of Dreamsmithing, a creative warrior's journey, at least the first section, which is empowerment. This is designed to build inner resource skills for students who are taking it, no matter what their age, for their educators, and for their families. This time of extreme challenge is a very welcome opportunity to use creative expression, mindfulness practices, a lot of different inner resource skills like mindfulness, and we'll let the curriculum speak for itself now. I'm going to bring it up on PowerPoint. It is on Google Classroom. I am looking into getting it onto Canvas, but for now, it's a little more expeditious to demo on PowerPoint. So here you go. Let me bring it up. I'm going to roll back up here. These are the different sections. We have empowerment, living in the moment and mindfulness, overcoming fears, focusing on what you want, gratitude, change, defining the dream, and dressing the part. And it's all set up with a glossary, rubrics, and what content standards it reaches. As a curriculum, it is social emotional learning. It meets numerous 21st century Common Core college and career ready requirements. It also is a health related class. It does a lot of language building. It could be used as a language arts class, and it could be just in general living skills sort of class for people that are needing that sort of enrichment. This is the activities list for section 1. Each one of these hyperlinks here is going to bring you to a primary source. Some of them are TED Talks. There's one here from Homeboy Industries, which is just talking about how it helps people in Los Angeles, how it is the world's biggest gang intervention program. There's one on hardwiring happiness here, which is by Rick Hansen, who is a mindfulness maven, and he teaches psychology at UC Berkeley. And then there's an empowerment speech here from Oprah Winfrey. And I'm actually updating this to include another primary source, which is by a gentleman named Murdoch, and he works with kids in the Indianapolis public schools and has a company, LLC called Murdoch LLC, and there's an extensive interview with him. He's very active in Black Lives Matter. As you go through these sources, you're going to find a very inclusive, very diverse group of people, voices. We know all of our students are coming from different experiences. I wanted to make everybody feel welcome by showing them mentor examples from so many different places. There are people from India, there are people from the United States, there are people from Jordan, there are people from all over and different gender identifications. I really wanted to make sure and make the voice as inclusive as possible. Let me take you through this here. Each section has a warm-up and activating questions part. The warm-up is going to have something like, for instance, this is a definition of empowerment, and then the questions that they would answer about empowerment. The idea is for them at the end of the section to have the ability to answer all these questions. They're not expected to know the answers for everything in the beginning. They might, but what they don't know in the beginning, they will gain through their process. They may actually go back and choose to fortify what they originally said based on what they're learning. There's always efforts to bring people back and weave new learning experiences together and to create conversations, to create learning opportunities. There are numerous different ways to respond to things, and those can include writing responses, they can include creative expression responses, which would be art, but I try to stay away from the word art because it has a certain gravity to it, and creative expression is more like working with flow and allowing people to understand that they can enjoy creativity without putting the pressure of creating art on themselves. They may be artists, and that might not be an issue, but a lot of people identify with not having the ability to create art. They can do creative expression. This is a gratitude journal. Gratitude journaling is a big part of this, and there's also an intricate process of gratitude journaling. They're going to be thinking of their gratitudes. They're going to be journaling their gratitudes in a written form. They're going to be adding them to this workable slide in Google Classroom or whatever they happen to work with, and they're going to be sharing them. The idea is to spend as much time with the gratitude as you can, so it becomes a neural pathway that you're building and increasing the response to challenges with that being gratitude, as opposed to a lot of times we are responding to things with fear or vigilance. So just building that response. Each day they're supposed to write 3 to 5 gratitudes towards the end of the day. This is what Oprah Winfrey suggests. And they're going to spend some time with each of them and really get used to marinating gratitude. This is the poem for this unit. There are 5 sections with poems. These are empowerment, living in the moment, mindfulness, overcoming fears, focusing on desired outcomes, and gratitude. This is called A Note to Cancer, and this is the empowerment poem. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to have to let you go. I'm thankful for what our relationship gave me, what you taught me. The universe is there for me. People around me care for me. Dogs are ready to play with me. I can get what I want for me. What I focus on will be brought to me. The means and outcome are unclear to me, and that became okay with me. The poet is awake in me. You have taught me many lessons learned. My everything is okay is better at defending me. My outlook is mending me. We can have what we want without your presence in me. I'm going to have to let you go. This is a poem that I wrote when I was 1.5 years into treatment for brain cancer. And that's my part in this. I am a 15-year brain cancer survivor. And because we are dealing with social and emotional learning, what I've done is I've assembled overall this time the best practices that work to help me enjoy my life and get as much done as I can in the time that I have. As it turns out, I was expected to live 6 to 18 months, but I obviously had other things to do. Among them, this is probably the most important one that I've done. So I'm offering this up as a poem, and in this particular situation, in this lesson, I'll take you through the process of what they're going to do with it. And this is typical in all of the poem-related sections. The first activity they do is a close. What I want them to do is look up the words in a glossary. In Google Classroom, I put the glossary into a JPEG slide, so there's no way to copy and paste the definitions. Let me take you down to the glossary. These are working definitions. They're not specifically dictionary definitions, but they'll look up the word, they will type it into the close. So they're using the word, they're typing the definition into it. When they get done, they place the word back into the poem. So it builds poetry analysis, literary analysis into the social and emotional learning curriculum and language building. I really love this next one. We've gone through, we've looked up a word, we've put the definition in, we've put the word back into the close. Now we're going to use the words again, but this time they're going to write it into a sentence relating to their lives, gaining ownership of the words as they're doing it. And there's a lot of focus in this curriculum on story, the student story, the educator's story, maybe even the family stories, because stories are such powerful learning tools for remembering. They're visual, they are sense rich, and this is a great way to help with acquiring language and connecting to schema. The next step is annotate the poem, more literary analysis with questions from me, the author, and then also what do you, questions about what the thoughts are on the stanza. So critical thinking in both cases. The next step is to have them write their own note to whatever. The idea of this empowerment section is to get them to let go of something that no longer serves them. Perhaps they have an unhealthy behavior. Perhaps they have a relationship that's unhealthy, something that they strongly identified with, and something that they learn, things that they learn from it, the empowering tools that they gained, acquiring the learning, and that's what they're going to work with. So that's the empowerment component. Now we're going to take this down and look at the painting that is related to this poem. So this is A Note to Cancer. In the hand paints the lemonade. So there's a very empowering message. One of my original paintings. This is something that they can do if they are artistically inclined. There's a greater level of challenge. I wanted to scaffold the creativity so they could do something here. They could experience creative flow just coloring this, but there's also a creative prompt. Create an image of your empowerment or of a historical figure who most represents empowerment to you. So more cultivation of the notion of empowerment. Let's keep going. And this is a analyze the poem form. The theme of the message, the mood, your connection, again, their connection with the poem, how does it apply to their life, and images. So you have drawing responses to a text, which is a big part of language building. But I also wanted to point out, which you'll see in the Google Classroom, is I'm having people use Flipgrid to do video responses. So they can write responses for some of these, but they can also, in the slide, post a Flipgrid video responding to this question. They could even, in certain cases, do it with the writing prompt. I want to recognize how important speaking skills are in today's world. As a language arts skill, again, I'm using social emotional learning curriculum as an opportunity for them to build their speaking ability, to present a speech. The last project is presenting a speech. So, and let me start to explain how that works. We've looked at the creative expression prompt, and we've looked at the analyze the poem form. Let me just bring you into quick writes. Now remember I said we had primary sources, so these are all hyperlinked, and then they're going to write a quick write response. There's hardwiring happiness I showed you, and then there's the Oprah Winfrey empowerment speech. And there's going to be that one from Murdoch. I might actually take the Oprah speech out because Murdoch is working directly with kids right now, and I think it's a little bit more relevant, although her speech is super powerful. I have her in another place in the curriculum. She is such a wonderful role model. And then there's this section here, which is really important. I was telling you earlier how they're going to do this oral presentation. The last section, if I go back up to the last section, you're going to see is called Dressing the Part. Dressing the Part is about them coming back. Ultimately, they're creating a character, or they're taking on the character of a person who's coming back to mentor somebody in their learning environment, the similar one. So let's say somebody is in a certain middle school or high school or homeschool, and they meet as a learning group, whatever they happen to be doing. They're going to come back as adults. They're going to dress as an adult. Let's say at 10 years after they've left that environment, they're going to come back and talk about how they achieve their goals and dreams. And how are they going to prepare for that? I love this part. This is reaching your goals. So each time they finish the section, they're going to write about what they learned in the section that they can use in their own lives and how it's going to help them achieve their goals and dreams. While they're doing this in each section, all 8 sections, they're getting ready to do the presentation, because then they'll have material to draw from when they take their 3 or 5 minutes, which is what the length of the speech is going to be, and talk about how they achieve whatever they did. So it's all very connected. And again, as they're doing these quick writes and they're doing this response and even the written response, the instructors or the educators are going to be providing them with conversation opportunities. So you can build a learning community, a community of inspired creative support. The tenets of the work are healing through creativity, through connectivity, and through service. The idea is they're creating, they're connecting, they're serving each other in community, and ultimately this coming back as a mentor project that I just talked about is a service. I mean, the idea is to connect them with the joy of what it's like to help their fellow humans. Not everybody is wired like that, but most of us really get a lot out of helping somehow. That's one of the big themes here.